Welcome. Welcome to post-constitutional America. I don't know if I'm living in a bad science fiction movie or George Bush's America or both. Our liberty, our rights, our freedoms, our privacy are all being held under the gun. They're all under attack by the thugs that run this country and think that they're on a mission from God to run the world. Bush and his cronies have shredded the Constitution. They've taken over what little liberties we have left. They've completely upset the balance of power within the government, the three-tiered structure. They tell us that security must take priority over liberty. But from the offices of a stolen presidency, we now have neither. On the pretense of fighting a war against terrorism, the state surveils us, they collect and share information on us, they arrest us even before we can demonstrate and hit the streets. If you've seen the movie Minority Report, it's like a pre-crime scenario where we're guilty until proven innocent, and all we have to do is think something subversive to be taken in for it. We've gone backwards in time now, at least to the 1950s. John Ashcroft has replaced Senator Joseph McCarthy. The terrorist threat has replaced the communist threat. And the Red Scare has morphed into the Green Scare. Pretty soon we're going to be in real trouble such that you're going to get a knock at the door, it'll be an FBI agent, and then we're going to say to you, have you now, or have you ever been a vegetarian? That's the kind of world that we're moving into. Terrorism today is not just flying fully loaded passenger planes into buildings. Terrorism today is protesting the WTO. Terrorism today is rescuing puppies from a laboratory. The word is completely bereft of meaning. They've created all kinds of new laws recently, in case you haven't noticed. Certainly there's the Patriot Act at the federal level. There's Patriot Act 2, its successor, I'll say some things about. At the state levels, there's at least a dozen states right now that have created so-called animal and ecological terrorism acts. And they define terrorism in these acts as things such as stepping onto the property of an agricultural facility or an animal farm, or photographing, documenting animal abuse, or in any way impeding and interfering with the exploitative, profit-driven businesses of those corporations that are destroying the earth and killing billions of animals. If two or more people interfere in those activities, today you are branded as a terrorist. The Patriot Act has created an entirely new legal category, as you no doubt know, of what they call domestic terrorism, to demonize all activists and to stigmatize all dissent. How many domestic terrorists do we have in the house tonight? Can I hear it from the domestic terrorists? God damn it, wear that as a badge of honor. The Patriot Act is the most unpatriotic act of all time. Dissent today is tantamount to treason. You have to be a fat fucking redneck in a pickup truck with flags waving on both sides to be a patriot today. You have to close your mind and shut your mouth and waste away in front of your plasma TV set watching Fox News to be a patriot today. You have to swallow every line of bullshit that the government feeds you until you can't take anymore, and they have to force feed it down your throat like you're a fucking foie gras duck. Foie gras duck. Get liver pushed down their throat. So does that sound like patriotism to anyone here today? I don't think so. All right, we know that this is a scam. This country is founded on the right to dissent. And it's going to fucking stay that way if we have anything to do with it. Right? From the Boston Tea Party to the suffragettes, from the civil rights movement to the Battle of Seattle, this country is founded on the right to dissent, and it is the people who fight for rights and who are the dissenters who preserve freedom in this country and no one else. So the most unpatriotic traitors of all are the whores in Washington. And the biggest whores of all, George Bush and John Ashcroft. This war on patriotism, this war on terrorism, I should say, it's a bullshit war. It's a front for the real war. You know what the real war is? It's the war on democracy. Should the state have the right to enter your home or workplace in sneak and peek operation? Should they have the right to gather all of the information they can from all of your records? No. Should they have the right to monitor every keystroke and every phone call that you make? No. Should they have access to the records of every book you've ever bought or borrowed? No. All right, that's what the Patriot Act is all about. If Patriot Act 2 gets its way, as seemingly it's about to, any dissident now is going to be forced to put their picture on a website with your personal information on it, like you're a sex offender. I'm telling you today, activism is being criminalized so that we are being equated with the Al-Qaeda and with sex offenders. This country is on the fast track to fascism. You look at all the key criteria when you compare countries like Germany and Italy and what defines fascism, like jingoism and militarism and state control of media. And you see that our country satisfies every criterion for what defines a fascist country. And it's frightening. Only the organized forces of resistance are going to stop this juggernaut toward fascism in this country. We need all elements. Human rights, animal rights, earth liberation, radical environmentalism. We need all of them because it is one struggle and one fight. And we share a common enemy. That enemy is hierarchical thinking and values, which creates racism and sexism and fear of the other, homophobia, hierarchical mentalities, and capitalism. Capitalism promotes patriarchy and racism and promotes every evil on this planet. So we've all got common enemies and we need to identify them and work at them accordingly. I uphold the distinction between what is legal and what is right. And I realize that these two things rarely overlap in this country. What is legal and what is ethical, that they're not the same thing, is obvious. In textbook cases like in Nazi Germany, South African apartheid, and U.S. racism and patriarchy. And what is legal is not what is ethical. That's obvious. So when the law is wrong, we have two options. We either change it or we break it. And sometimes to change the law, you have to break the law. Thoreau, Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela were just a few radical routine lawbreakers who violated what was legal in order to obey the higher code of what was ethical. Martin Luther King referred to direct action as the marvelous new militancy of the civil rights movement. The marvelous new militancy, he called it. He argued that non-cooperation with evil was just as much an ethical obligation as cooperation with the good. It's not enough just to do the good. We must also actively resist evil. And to do that, damn it, all too often, we have to break laws. And he learned to embrace the label of extremist that we all get. He said yes in time. He said, I am an extremist. I'm an extremist in love. And I'm an extremist in my passion for justice. Yeah, I'm an extremist. You can call all of us extremists too.